lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So would you give the invocation, please?
Certainly. Heavenly Father, please be with us this evening. Bless our mayor, our council, and all department heads represented here this evening. Let them hear through your ears and speak through your heart as they weigh the issues set before them this evening. And we also ask that you continue to bless and protect our police and fire departments as they serve and protect us. And we ask it all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All right, so in the packet there's should be your minutes from the previous meeting dated December 2nd, 2014. Is there a motion to approve these minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second? We have a motion and a second. And discussion, changes, corrections. All in favor of approving the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion passes. We'll move on to new business. Item A, ordinance that does not allow pit bulldogs in the city to vicious animals.
Yeah. First reading, it's an ordinance amending section 210.010 of the municipal code of the city of Kennett to remove the breed pit bulldog from the definition of dangerous dog. What we have right now is, in our definitions of the animal control ordinance, is a definition of dangerous dog, and right now there are like 7 criteria to determine what a dangerous dog is. There's 7 separate criteria. One of those criteria is being just a breed pit bull. And what this does, it leaves all the other kids to just remove the breed specific designation of pit bulls as a dangerous dog.
So moved.
We have a motion to approve the reading of the ordinance. We have a second, and it's time for discussion. There's no discussion, all in
Well,
favor?
I will say this, there's going to be some people that'll be concerned on behalf of the risk factor involved. But there'll be a lot more, I think, that would appreciate the fact that, their dog is not deemed to be a vicious dog, when in reality they are not. They were just by breed name, they're considered that. And so I think we need to do that. It would also eliminate a whole lot of complaints called for the humane officer, because right now if somebody says, my neighbor's got a pit bull, then she has to respond. Where if we take that breed specific out of there, and then they'll have to say, well, when we've got a complaint about a vicious dog, that makes a whole lot of difference. And we'll probably reduce substantially the number of calls we see on cats.
Any more discussion on the reading of the ordinance?
The comments that I have heard have been from people who like that pit breed connotation left in there. That is the only contact I've had with people, is to say that they like that being in there. So I'm just gonna voice that because that was a concern from some constituents. I don't know if it's valid. I'm kind of leaving it to the guys that do that are into the animal shelter, all that. If Mr. Hancock agrees with that, and I think I'm okay with that as well.
I think this ordinance will put the responsibility where it belongs, and the animal control officer will make the judgment. And that breed, like she does any other breed, if it is a vicious animal, she'll take care of it.
Any more discussion? All in favor of the ordinance as read, or the reading of the ordinance, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Second reading, An ordinance amending section 210.010 of the municipal code of the city of Kennett to remove the breed pit bull dog from the definition of dangerous dog.
Is there a motion to approve the ordinance that's read?
Motion.
Is there a second? There is a second. Any discussion? There'll be a roll call vote. We're gonna start on the right side of the room this evening.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes. And the vote passes unanimously. Okay, we'll move on to municipal building repairs. You want to take that, or?
Yes,
Okay.
I will be glad to. Municipal building repairs in the years past, as the budget has been tight, I think that maybe this particular building was passed over, and, pardon me, and it's catching up with us. The restroom, the women's restroom, the tile is coming up, and we hope that it's not a serious plumbing problem, but they won't know until they get the tile up and get in there to see. Victor Mode has taken on repairs for this building, separate from being the code enforcement officer. So he is the one that will be doing it. But what we need to do right now is to get the okay for the repairs in the 2 restrooms and to get different flooring in the kitchen. If any of you all have walked in there lately, it's pretty nasty looking. And what have we talked about putting down in there instead of carpet is the larger tiles. I think that would be easier to keep clean.
And plus, the bathrooms, they are, I'm afraid there's gonna be a risk of we might get in a little trouble. The floor tiles are crumbling. And that's especially in the women's restroom.
Well, we have a close sign on it, but people still use it.
And we do have, this is a public building, Wednesdays especially, when we have court, we got a room full. So, and plus it's our city hall. We need to show, we've got pride in our city, and this is our city hall. It's not gonna be a huge expense, we don't believe. We're not being elaborate with it, we're just making the basic fundamentals.
Got a guesstimate as to what it would be? $7,000, but
Well, it's gonna depend on what he finds.
if there's something wrong with
If it
plumbing.
is plumbing, or if it's just a little leak. I would say probably a couple of $1,000 at this point.
Well, anything major, it'd be definitely under $5,000 to do all the repairs needed without a major fine, but you never know what you're gonna get into. But I guess we're looking for your all's blessing to proceed, try to get some pricing, and to make this happen sooner than later.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Got one question here.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna be tearing up that ladies' room, we have court each week. So what we're gonna do for bathroom facilities while it's under repair.
It's closed right now, it's been closed.
The handicap.
The question is, what are we doing now?
You got a
Unisex.
unisex bathroom back there.
Okay.
Will that come out of capital improvement? Is that what?
There is, if I'm not mistaken, I believe there is a line item in the administrative for building repairs, getting rid of, or did we
Well,
remove
it's
that?
also, it's in capital improvements too. There's some
Mhm.
municipal building.
Building
tax,
maintenance, well, there's building maintenance, $5,000 allocated,
but then there's a little bit more money too.
and we got a fallback plan if we need it for a major expense. All right, move on to, contract for professional human resource person to help with employee issues. I'll turn this over to the clerk also.
We had the EEOC training last week, and because of some of the items that have resulted from that, I feel like we need to have a professional human resource person look over our employee manual and perhaps come and visit with us and give us some training. And a lady that lives in St. Louis, Glenna Patterson, has done work for Cena State Bank for, well, the 15 years I was there and prior to that. She works on an hourly basis. She said it would be $65 an hour, which I don't think is really that bad when you stop and think that counselors in town charge $80 an hour. But she would come down, she would do a lot of her work at her house, but she would come down and visit with the employees and give the suggestions to us. But I really feel like we're at the point where we need to do this.
We have some policies currently in place. Yeah, you can have some city employees building up months of time. And that's what kind of spurred this along. We've noticed we've got a large liability based off vacation days and sick days. And try to make this in the 21st century. A lot of these policies were created years ago, and they're just added on at will by councils. Try to streamline this approach and make it a better policy for our employees.
And does she know that what we would need for a city government? I guess, would she be knowledgeable about that?
I believe so. She has worked with credit card company herself besides banking, and I believe she does have the knowledge. If she has any questions, she has people she could talk to.
Would it be doing a contract with her, or how would we manage it, I guess?
We'll have contracts set up in ways.
Yeah.
It's like any other professional service that you hire.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. I mean, is there somebody we would manage? I mean, we're not talking about $65 an hour for unlimited hours or whatever. We would want to see what she projected it would cost, right, for a total average bill?
Yeah, and she couldn't give me a better idea,
Excuse me, I got a call, I gotta take care of.
because she didn't really know how long it is gonna take her.
I think if she reviewed our employee manual and come up with recommendations from that, then she could project what she'd recommend for training after she's done that. And be in a better position to know what we need and where we need it.
Well, I mean, possibly, but, you know, when she got down here and started talking to the employees, that might end up taking a little bit longer. You know, she wished she could give us a better idea.
I mean, are there people with the municipal league, you know, that do this kind of thing too? That I mean, I don't know this one, so it's not anything against her, but I just wonder if there's somebody that might.
I don't believe there's anybody directly with the municipal league that does this. They would refer you to somebody that would do the same type of thing.
That someone that might have done it before that would know, maybe have a contract already kind of in mind and could give you.
I would assume the vendor or the provider will have a standard employment contract.
That this woman Diane's talking about will have?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I just don't think we ought to go into it without having some limit or having an idea of the price. I think it's probably a good idea.
Well, and it's possible, you know, you might want to put a price on it, and she can go as far as she could go, and then depending upon where she stands at that point, then we'd always come back and explain where we are and what she thinks.
Plus, we all gotta understand that we got a city clerk that wears many hats. I think everyone knows that. We have a payroll clerk, human resource, insurance, 50, 60 employees that we have here in the city. She's got many roles to play. She needs some help. And that's what, this is her asking for help to streamline this approach. And we do have a human resource committee, but we have not got anything out of the committee to proceed. So it's this our thing of, hey, let's poop and get off pot, or,
And again, I don't have a problem with doing it, I just say, if this woman is a professional and knows what she's doing, then she ought to be able to quote us a price, I guess is basically my bottom line.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think it's, like I said, probably a good idea, she would review the handbook, is that what you're saying? And then come down and interview each employee separately? Is that-
She can.
Is that what you were wanting, or you thought was a good idea?
Well, I think it's a good idea. It lets you know better where your departments are standing.
Where's the money gonna come from? I mean, I can see, if just on a 40-hour work week, we're talking about $2,600 a week, and this person did it.
We're under budget with the general administration account, is that correct? $29,000.
Right now,
That's one place that we can look at with it.
I would totally support what I'm suggesting here, the reason being, HR used to be pretty static. You got it set up, and over the years, there wasn't that many changes to it. But nowadays, with all the government regulations and intervention that you get, it's a moving target. And when's the last time ours was brought up to date? I think we ought to bite the bullet and get it brought up to date, and then long range, look at keeping it up to date.
And how much money are you willing to spend to do that?
Let's start with
I don't have a figure in
$5,000.
mind, but if she can prevent one lawsuit against the city, it'll pay, and overpay for what money's we're spending.
I request the council approve up to $5,000, up to, and then we can assess where we stand from there.
I'd make that motion.
Second. We have a motion and we have a second. Any discussion?
Coming from the general administration account.
Janet? Ms. Alcliffe, I agree, and I understand your position, but it's like an engineering firm. They won't give you a price, they price it out hourly on a lot of things, and then you work up to that amount.
Well, and that's fine, you've set a limit, and that's all I was asking.
But I agree, I would like that too, but I just don't see how we can get that right now, based off what Ms. Rice presented.
And to answer your question about when the last time it was brought up today, probably more than 20 years ago. And employee handbooks probably need to be looked at least every 5 years.
I hope she don't have to rewrite it.
the book said 2002, and then it says revised 2013.
Well,
It
there have
was,
been,
But those are probably
But
just
the
when some
entire-
changes were made.
there's been some changes made over the years, but that handbook was, the big part of that handbook was done in the early 90s or late 80s.
Once we get them up to date, it would be nice to do it annually, and maybe have the department heads just go through their handbooks every year. That's what we did at school, it kept our heads above water a lot of times.
I think what we'll find now is that there's a lot of policies here that nobody even knows what they say, and I don't even think we're really necessarily going by them.
Well, and certainly don't even know why they're there.
Right, yeah, so, you know, it's a good idea, I just, okay, so, we're good, we have to do that?
I don't think so, but we can now though. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes.
I got ahead, I already wrote motion passed.
There you go. All right, item D, ordinance for the election.
Okay, first reading, you all have a copy. An ordinance calling for the regular city election of the city of Kennett, Missouri for the purpose of having the qualified voters of said city elect the mayor, city treasurer, a council member from Ward 1, a council member from Ward 2, a council member from Ward 3, a council member from Ward 4, and a council member from Ward 5, designating the time of holding said election, prescribing the information for the ballot to be used thereat, and authorizing the city clerk to give such prescribed information and notice of said election to the county clerk of Duncan County. It'd probably be a pretty good idea to pass this ordinance since filing started today.
There we go. Thank you, Mr. Wheeler. Discussion, since not any, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Second reading, please.
An ordinance calling for the regular city election of the city of Kennett, Missouri for the purpose of having the qualified voters of said city elect a mayor, a city treasurer, a council member from Ward 1, a council member from Ward 2, a council member from Ward 3, a council member from Ward 4, and a council member from Ward 5, designating the time of holding said election, prescribing the information for the ballot to be used thereat, and authorizing the city clerk to give such prescribed information and notice of said election to the county clerk of Duncombe County.
Is there a motion to approve this ordinance? There is a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Discussion.
About being here.
We'll start on the left side of the room, since the ordinance.
Yes.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes,
Yes.
And that motion passes.
And we can all be thankful we don't have to read it 3
There
times.
you go. All right, it's that time of year where we sign agreement with the airport. This is basically, has anything changed?
Nothing's changed, it's the renewal of the airport management contract with Sam Jewell, and for $2,500 a month. Nothing has changed, nothing has changed from the last one,
There.
literally, yeah.
And the airport board has already passed it.
The airport board has already approved this.
Is there a motion to approve this agreement?
second,
We have a motion and a second discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion passes. Yeah. There you go. We'll move into unfinished business. Street committee, you got a plan ready?
Yes, we have been working on a plan. We have a list of streets we would like to start on, but with winter weather coming up, we would like to wait a little bit, see what kind of winter we have. Winter damage may cause more streets to become more permanent than others. So what we'd like to do is wait till winter's over and see where we stand there. And plus, see how much money we have. We can actually spend for the upcoming 2015 year. We're gonna use the same criteria we used, the council approved about a year ago, as how we're gonna list the streets. And use that information to look for.
Could you all, by some way, make it pretty simple, like maybe put it on the map, highlight portions of what roads you're wanting to overlay, what roads you're wanting to pave, and, you know, kind of make it more simple, how far you want to extend Jackson Street, or, I just said Jackson because that's, first thing in mind.
Right now, yeah, it is.
But you know, just kind of put it out there, maybe the paper can pick that up, because I know there's a lot of folks out there that has no clue what we're wanting to do, and quite frankly, they might not be watching the television screen.
What I like to do is just avoid us making promises we can't keep. I mean, if we put that information out there, if something happens, we can't keep it.
No, we're not saying we're doing it, it's just a plan. This is what we're planning to do, phase 1 this year, next year, you know,
I don't have problems.
money pending, of course, and nothing's locked in, nothing's solid, it's just, this is what we like to try to do and accomplish for our streets, for transportation.
We see it. I don't have problems with
Something simple, you know, maybe 5 years out, a 5-year plan for our street transportation tax. Barring there's no major issue, a bridge collapse or whatever it may be, and then culvert, you know,
it. No floor trees.
it's just a plan.
I'm okay with it.
I've told several constituents in the before, you know, they ask about this street or that street, and they say, well, you know, we can't do them all at one time. We do, you know, Randy's put together what he, you know, the street committee, a priority schedule for the most part. And we just gotta live within that, while the money exists, you know. And they, you know, I think they understand, you know, obviously we can't do them all at one time.
We've got several streets in there, there are a lot of them that do need some repairs, and, it's just gonna take some time to get them all done. Of course, South Jackson, we're still waiting. Let's see how expensive that's gonna be. And that could be pretty costly from what we're understanding, we just don't know yet.
Speaking on street committee, do we have any information to present to the council regarding the engineering study?
Hope to have engineers report probably early February, see what the possibilities are, and, I think you all need to be involved in the plan, stormwater. And officers will be more than just the city involved in South Jackson. Portion of it that's gonna be in the county, and we're just gonna skip that part, or what they're gonna chip in and help. Obviously, see like gas and water needs to be involved in some of the planning for future plumbing work, stuff like that. So it's not just gonna be just us involved, it's going to be a collective effort from all three.
I can probably tell you CLGW is not gonna have any pipe out there because it's county rule, and they've gotta buy out the customers. And I don't see any reason to buy out.
Unless there's something in the future for them. They may wanna put something underneath it, if something's to look in the future, if they have to go back and dig up the road, something will already be down there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're thinking, we'd hate to want to tear up the asphalt if we've already got it.
Alrighty.
We do have a couple other things. One of we'd like to make a motion to hire Tucker Reisner as a waiver for the street department, starting salary of the new employees for $10.50 an hour.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion passes.
Also from the meeting, the new Ford F-250 is here. It's arrived and the work's being done on it to get it marked and get the proper lighting on it before we start using it. I know after talking to Randy, the street employees were very excited about having a piece of new equipment to work with, and they're very appreciative. That expressed us. And also, with general agreement from the council, the street committee would like to move forward to selling some of the old equipment from the street department. We've got several pieces that probably be outdated for us, stuff they don't use anymore. We're also asking that whatever money's made from the sale, we put back into the equipment reserve fund for the street department for future use. I'm just asking for council approval for that.
What equipment, I mean, you got a list of equipment looking at good, or getting rid of?
We can bring a list in, I mean, it's what we've talked about, you know, road grader
We've
is.
been talking about it forever, haven't we?
Yeah. I just didn't know if you had a list you're gonna put in paper, or you gonna, how you gonna try to sell it?
Well, we're gonna put a plan together, Mayor, if we get this approval, proceed on with it.
I had no problem with it, I just,
Good idea.
yeah, I'm gonna get rid of my junk, you know?
You want a motion?
I think we just, you know, if we could, it's been talked about at the council meeting, I think there's a general consensus from the conversations, but I just don't know whether to go ahead and proceed on with this. I mean, if we just get a general consensus, you know, an agreement, I don't know if we need a motion or not, I mean, I'm not.
Well, while we're talking about it, how much used equipment or old equipment we got in the fire department also?
Oh, there's some stuff.
Well, then I'm gonna make a motion that both the street department, fire department, put together a plan that will get rid of a lot of excess old equipment.
I would like to add on to that, police and city hall. We've got slews of stuff in closets and, right, if we still have that, or did we start getting rid of it?
Did he get hauled to?
We haul some, yeah.
There we go.
We still got a little bit.
Any of the departments that we got, yeah, let's just clean house.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't like a plan.
I think there's a closet of radiation detectors that's probably 30 years old over there that I don't know what they're doing,
Aren't
but
there? They still work, they're still tested each year.
they're still good? Okay. I happened to stumble across those here a while back. But yeah, I'm all for getting rid of things, and maybe you can buy some of this equipment that you said you've been needing. Like this zip tube. I'm tired of seeing it on your paperwork, to tell you the truth.
I'll second that motion.
There's a plan already been talked about, you know, and I will share it with the other department heads.
Okay.
Well, get together, let's make this happen, okay? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right. Move on to, item C, dog pound expansion.
All right, I've given to you the price list on all that. There should be some slight reduction in that in terms of right now it's calculated based on putting in a separate septic system for that addition. However, it may be possible that we could tap into the other one and just add additional, field towns for drainage purposes, which would reduce, would minimize the need to put in a new septic tank. But in any event, you can see the number there, $21,700. And it's my recommendation